Welcome to DryPush, the ultimate tool for developers looking to simplify their cloud upload tasks. It all begins with importing your cloud credentials. You have options: automatic, manual, or whatever suits your workflow best. Choose what feels right for you. Once you've got your credentials in, it's time to select the regions you want to work with. This is where the magic happens, where your data finds its home in the cloud. But don't worry, managing those credentials is a breeze. Need to edit or delete? Just a few clicks and you're done. You can even update all fields manually if you prefer that hands-on approach. Or if you're feeling efficient, why not import them directly from a CSV file? It's all about making your life easier, letting you focus on what really matters, building and innovating without the hassle of tedious uploads.
Now let's dive deeper into what DryPush can do for you. Currently with DryPush, you can deploy only to AWS, but we plan to add more cloud providers soon. Upload your files effortlessly to services like S3, Elastic Beanstalk, Lambda, EC2, and more. You can browse through your file system to choose a file to deploy, or you can select a file from your project tree as we showed earlier. The plugin supports multiple payload types, whether it's local files or folder, artifact that is pre-configured in your IDE, or file available under a URL. Save your upload configuration and reuse it later if needed. Select a cloud account from your imported list and choose specific resources like a special S3 bucket. Check the advanced features of chosen resources easily. See if the bucket has static website hosting enabled, and if CloudFront CDN cache is connected to it. Manage your folder structure with ease. Control overwrite policies during the deployment process. Configure selected resources to meet your needs, such as speeding up your website by setting cache or clearing connected CDN caches. DryPush provides essential information for it at your fingertips. Tag your objects effortlessly. Once the upload is finished, receive a notification. You can then choose to repeat the upload or check the result in Cloud Web Console. Welcome to DryPush, where cloud deployment is simplified and innovation thrives.
Let's explore what DryPush can do with AWS Lambda. First off, you can choose to deploy application archives, like zip or jar, for all languages supported by AWS Lambda, as well as simple script files such as JavaScript, Node.js, Python, Ruby, and PowerShell. DryPush will automatically archive files as required by AWS Lambda for you. We've already covered the payload options, so let's focus on setting up your targets. When you open the available Lambda target list, you'll see various additional details about your functions. For instance, you can check if it has layers, if it is deployed to Lambda Edge, and, this one is a bit tricky, if there are any CloudFront distributions connected to API gateways using this Lambda. Once you've made your selection, you can choose between two options: deploying the function itself, meaning function code, or deploying to a layer of this function, in other words, creating a new version of the layer. First, let's talk about deploying function code. You have the option to publish a new version with an optional description and create an alias if needed. If your function is an edge function, you can choose to deploy it to all the Edge CloudFront distributions at once. If you're dealing with large files, you can deploy them via S3, as AWS recommends. Additionally, you have the option to invalidate CloudFront distributions that use this Lambda via API Gateway, if they are connected. Now, let's move on to deploying function layers. After choosing this option, you'll see all the function layers and how many other Lambda functions are using each of the layers. You can choose to simply deploy to a layer, meaning create a new version of it, or, additionally, update the function to use the new layer version. If there are other functions that use the layer, You can update all of them to use the new layer at once, too. Just like with function code, you can upload large files through S3 and invalidate CloudFront distributions that, if applicable, might use this Lambda via API gateway. You'll get a notification once the deployment is successful, and you can check the AWS console for the deployed resource.
Now let's talk about deploying to EC2. When you open the EC2 target list, you'll see detailed information about your instances that are grouped by regions. This includes their current status, IP addresses, whether they have an Elastic IP attached, public key names, and any connected CloudFront CDN distributions. Tooltips provide additional information to guide you. To connect, you can use SSH credentials, PPK or PEM keys, or a password. You can easily navigate your instance's folder structure to deploy your files exactly where you want them. Additionally, you can create or remove folders as needed on the fly. DryPush also allows you to run commands on your instance before and after your file upload, which can be helpful for tasks such as starting an app. The show output option will enable an extra notification with the result of the command execution. If applicable, you can invalidate CloudFront distributions by selecting the relevant option. When upload is complete, notification will show the command output. You can also repeat your upload with a single click in the notification area.
Let's explore how DryPush simplifies Elastic Beanstalk deployments. The list of available Elastic Beanstalk targets is displayed in a drop-down menu, grouped by region. For each environment, you'll see the current status, environment name, application name, platform, and connected CloudFront CDN distributions. DryPush automatically increments the version number with each new deployment, but you can always choose a custom name and add any additional details as needed. You can optionally tag your new application version and invalidate connected CloudFront CDN distributions after the deployment is complete. Additionally, you can save configurations as quick targets for easy reuse. Once the upload is complete, you can view the new Elastic Beanstalk application version details or repeat application upload with a single click from the notification area.
Here's a closer look at the quick targets and multi-upload feature. DryPush allows you to save and reuse upload configurations, and even combine them to speed up your workflow. Configurations saved as quick targets are pinned to the DryPush context and widget menus, enabling quick, repetitive uploads. Each target is clearly marked with icons representing the corresponding cloud services, along with your custom name or description. You can easily manage saved targets in the Settings menu. You can also combine multiple quick targets into one, referred to as multi-upload, by using the Multiple option. Use cases might include multi-uploads that deploy different components of your application across various cloud services, or deploying the same payload to multiple destinations, such as different customers' cloud accounts. Now I'm creating a multi-upload for 2 buckets belonging to different cloud accounts. After that, I'll show you how to use them. Multi-upload targets are visually intuitive, with icons that make navigation easy. All of this can be done with just a single click.